I'd start, because it was Anzac Day a few days ago, with a poem I wrote called Gallipoli, about my grandfather. I took a coach ride from Istanbul, 200 kilometres west, turning south down the coast. We pass a small town beside a long expanse of tufty dunes, little to mark the mayhem of the landings there. Young men in their thousands sent to die in 1915. Just around the corner and we pass Anzac Cove, later named in memory of the Antipodean dead. I hear your voice, the clink of ice in a whiskey glass. When I was in Gallipoli, you begin, and each time we nod without comprehension, exchanging glances over your shoulder. We didn't know or think to ask your role or what you saw. Didn't stand beside you bearing witness to the carnage, as 60 years dissolved in your eyes. I see you now, sitting on my couch, your tall, straight frame, thick white hair, slim in your light grey suit, dear Jock. So many questions I didn't ask. This poem, I suppose it's fairly self-explanatory, really. It's called Patchwork. See this scar? No, here, on the bridge of my nose. Sitting next to Dad in his car, wet road, concertina, crash! Back and front, hit my nose on the windscreen. Must have broken it. No one noticed at the time, just a cut. See this one? No, here, in the middle of my forehead. Third eye position. Yep, Dad again. He was driving in the back lane. I opened the back door. Bam! The lock hit my forehead. Blood gushed down my face. Freaked everyone, mostly Dad. See that one? No, here, on my little finger. Broken glass, bottle. My brother Mike did that one. I was little, can't remember any more about it. You can't see on my belly. Appendix, caesarean, kidney. Criss-cross lines, here and here and here, like signposts on the route map of my life. Knees. You can't see them now, except there used to be a photo at my mum's, my first Holy Communion. White lacy dress, angelic smile, and stick legs in white ankle socks. Knees covered in scabs and scars. Came off my bike, fell off my roller skates, climbing trees. Just a patchwork, me, really. Last year, I wrote this one, and it's about absence and loss, I suppose. And the title came to me from that Pink Floyd song, which I happened to listen to one day, called Wish You Were Here. Well, it's an album, isn't it? But I was listening to the title song. And the title is Heroes and Ghosts, which is a line in the song. When I sleep, your ghost sleeps beside me. Your ghost sits in that kitchen chair, smoking and talking, watching me cook and clean. Today, in the shop, I had to back away from the men's clothes to avoid your ghost in every aisle. And yesterday, on a morning walk to the park, your ghost flitted through that copse of young trees, taking photos of me, like the day it snowed. I want to shout, "Come back, come back, come back," but I don't. Your ghost scoops up the cat with big brown hands and strokes her gently. In your absence, she has retreated further into sleep, and I wish I could do the same. Maybe I'll do this one next. It's a short one. This poem I wrote a few years ago, and I used to go to a Buddhist writers group, writers workshop, which was run by a guy called Manjusri. And he was a dear man. I was very fond of him. And I sent this poem to him because I wrote it when he was launching his book 2 years ago. And he sent me back very nice comments about it. He was so generous. And then to my shock and horror, 3 weeks later I heard he'd had a brain tumour and died suddenly. And it's called How to Be Happy. Voices in my head keep telling me, "You did that wrong. You said that badly. You're not good enough. You could do better. You shouldn't have. You fucked it up again." Why don't they say, "You did that right. You said that well. You are good enough. You could do worse. Yes, you shall. Yes, you can. You were brilliant again." This one's called Picasso's Model. I just dug this one out again recently. Anne's heard it a few weeks ago. I used to do nude modelling for artists when I was a lot younger, and for extra cash in hand money. So I know what it's like doing standing poses. And then I went to a Picasso exhibition, and I was looking for ages at this big canvas of a nude model standing kind of flesh-coloured against a sort of pale pink background from his earlier period in the 1920s. And also I know that there was a lot of female artists around in his early days, and they never really achieved any recognition or got the financial support that the male artists did. So I bought a postcard and I brought it home. And I thought about giving that postcard to this woman who'd done that modelling, who's now an old lady. Someone brought me this postcard quite a few years ago. It brought the memories flooding back. I was part of that group, the artists in Montmartre. And of course, we girls always used our best assets. It was either that or starve. He promised me a meal a day and some tubes of ochre and vermilion for that big canvas I was working on. Standing in that pose was agony. You wouldn't think it to look at the painting, except for the thin, tight line of my lips. It's all peaches and pinks, soft colours. No hard lines defining the body, only flesh colour separates it from the pink background. Looks warm, doesn't it? Warm colours. But it was so cold in that studio. Sometimes I stamped my feet and rubbed my hands to warm them up. my body looked soft and yielding. Well, it would, wouldn't it? If you modelled for him, it came with the territory, that all-over flushed and dreamy look. He was an expert, I'll give him that. His persuasive power was, well, legendary. And that was how he'd get me to stand like that, my feet and legs cramping with pain. I'd insist on moving every 10 minutes. Well, of course, he'd never noticed. You'd have to drop in a dead faint before that would happen. Even then, he'd have just been irritated that you'd interrupted his concentration. I'm sure I didn't have those drooping, rounded shoulders. But the rest of me seems all right, I suppose. Everyone wants their piece of immortality. And well, I got mine. The whole of Paris knew who he was, even then. It was a very long time ago now. I still remember the pain in my legs from all that standing. I'm going to finish with a poem I wrote recently. It's a very light poem, shall we say. And it's called My Secret Addiction. I have a secret addiction. Sorry, start again. I have a secret passion, an addiction, you see. It's not what you'd expect from a woman like me. Yes, lots of us shop for Prada or Gucci and salivate over Louis Vuitton or Ferrucci. Those designer shops with their rows of clothes, I'm sorry to say they leave me cold. I hope you'll keep this confidential. You do understand that it's essential. What I'll do, if you don't mind, is whisper it quietly. Please, be kind. I can't put it off another second. Here goes. Poundland's my favourite shop. What do you reckon? Those aisles of treasures, I love them all. You can keep your shopping malls. I browse the sections one by one. My basket's full when I'm done. Oh, electronics is the best. It's full of gadgets. I can't resist. Multicolour phone covers. I've got 6. Car phone chargers, pick and mix. Garden tools and seeds and plants. Cat food, bird feed at a glance. Creams and potions and multi-packs. Bicycle covers and mini snacks. All those things you never knew you needed. Till there it was, as you proceeded. Best of all, when you hit the till, at other shops, a bitter pill, because Poundland goods cost £1 each. The total price is in my reach. I walk out feeling high elation. When I reach home, I've beaten inflation. There's a pile of treasures to open and try. If one doesn't work, I'm not going to cry. My secret's out. Now what do you think? She's got to be crazy? She should see a shrink? Or is it possible, thinking it through, you have the same secret addiction too?